Alrighty, and here is a video review for a look at Fans Hobby's Power BASER, their version of either Jinrai or Super Jinrai or Power Master Optimus Prime, however you want to think of it, here today. And we're starting off a little different here, because you can see I've got him in robot mode, I've got his base mode over here, because it's actually a little easier to go from this into vehicle mode, because it's a lot easier to go from vehicle mode into the combined super mode, so I figured we would do it that way. So let me move some boxes out of here so I can scoot a little closer. But here is the base Optimus and or Jinrai. I'm just going to stick with Optimus for the review, but Power BASER here is base mode and robot mode, and he's pretty posable. He's got a ball jointed head. He does have a waist swivel, shoulders. You can hear that nice ratchet there, front to back. Bicep swivel, dual hinge elbows, wrist swivel. Solid piece for the last three fingers, and then two knuckles for the index finger on both hands. Ratcheting hips in both directions. Thigh swivel, just a 90-degree hinge knee, and some ankle tilt down here. You'll notice these vents are actually built onto the foot for whatever reason. He is a little hollow through here. The bumper hides most of it, but if you look at it from an angle, it is kind of empty through there. Although it does look kind of like, it's reminiscent of Make Toys Cross Dimension Manus. But yeah, and if you look around to the back, much like the old Power Master Prime, he does have a little recessed plate here. And it kind of clicks in and out. You click it in and it goes flat. Click it in, it pops back out, although it doesn't hide the recess there for the Jinrai figure, or a high Q again. He's got two little tabs that click that all the way in, push him into place, and you can store them there on the back if you want. Just like on the original Power Master Prime, although you don't need to have him attached to transform him like on the original. And Jinrai himself, or Haikyuu, whatever, is actually pretty posable. You pull him out, he's got, his head does swivel, although not much, just due to the flat back of his head and the flat metal plate that he's got for the engine. But his head does turn a little bit from side to side. He's got ball joints at the shoulder, hinged elbows, thigh swivel, as well as forward and back hinges. There's a ball joint there, so it's a little bit of side to side as well, and hinged knees. So he's actually a pretty posable, and actually a pretty sturdy, probably the sturdiest Haikyuu I've handled. But yeah, and he's got the little pegs here on his shoulders. So to transform him back, you just do this, bring his hood up, and this actual peg goes into the foot to form the engine. Some quick size comparisons here before we get into the whole base mode. So here is the base Prime. He's pretty cool. Here he is with MP10. You can see roughly, I mean, they're pretty much the same height. MP10, I think, wins a little with his antenna, but to the top of the head, they're roughly the same height. Actually, the camera's making it look weird because they're, from where I'm sitting, he's actually a smidge taller. But there is an MP10. Here he is with Fans Hobby's own G2 Optimus there. And they do have similar hands, and I'll show that off in a minute, all the weapons and such. But so you can see a little smaller in him, mostly due to those massive shoulders. With Make Toy Striker Manus, like I was talking about, I do kind of like that wheel in the abdomen look, although it's a little bit more cohesive and solid on Manus. It's not quite as hollow as this one. And here's base mode with the original Power Master Optimus. So he's about the same height as the original Power Master Optimus before we get him into the armor. Alright, but like I said, he can hold, because he has the same kind of grooves, he can hold any of the weapons that came with the previous G2 Optimus. He can hold the double pistol, he can hold the standard rifle, and such and all that. He does come with his own weapons here on the base, and we'll show those off here. So here's the base mode, and it's the folded out trailer here. It's, you know, it's kind of one of those, it's a base because we say it is. This bit right here, I feel like these are supposed to attach extended out to here, but you can see it's not solid enough. It's very floppy. A lot of the pictures have this sticking up like this, and maybe with some friction we could tighten that joint. Actually, there actually is a screw in there, so maybe we can tighten that a little. Let's actually see if we can't tighten that and fix that floppiness. Oh yeah, there we go. So tightening the screw worked. But yeah, so you got the barrels here, and these will attach to these smaller pistols to form his main rifles. And we do have the dual exhaust things that actually swivel, and this is really kind of neat because they peg in back here, but the bottom of the handle, it's like that for regular mode, but it does actually have a little swivel piece at the bottom, so you can plug them in here and have them swivel around, which is pretty cool. He does have the head. The combined mode head is kind of just hiding here in the base itself. But just a quick shot there of the robot and the base together for Power Baser. Like I said, these can come off. The problem with the base is, like I said, these guns do not, they just use this short peg and they don't peg in very securely onto the top of here. Again, maybe some things that some polish or something could fix, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, so there you have these smaller pistols that kind of like Han Solo's pistol, especially if you flip the handle down. And he can use them as small rifles as a weapon, or small little guns. He can hold, again, straighten that out flat. Same rail. He can use the smokestack guns as handheld guns. And then these barrels here that I was talking about on the base, they just come off. They're just held in there by friction. You take the larger gun, push this in, flip the handle down, and then this piece fits into here to form the more G1 prime rifle. And again, can be held in his hands with the rails. So you've got weapon options. On top of like the 3 different variants you can use with him, he does hold all the previous weapons with the rails on the handle there. So we'll go ahead and combine these guys back into the larger rifles. Make sure these are flat. And we're going to go ahead and fold these handles up into these guns because these are going to be attached to the trailer. And I guess we'll start with the trailer first. So to get back to trailer mode, you just want to flip these panels up on the wheels. Make sure that they should tab in. There we go. That should allow them to rotate freely. Flip this panel back to lock the foot in place. Gotta bring the legs down and around. Bring it back here together like this. And again, flip this up on this side and make sure that tabs into place. You can see there's 2 tabs on the wheel here, on this wheel cover, that tab in up above the wheels. So because this piece rotates, it's a little difficult to get it lined up unless you really kind of peek in there and then get it, but click it into place. There's 2 little panels here to flip out, and these are going to lock together here at the bottom. There's also a panel here to flip out. Bring this down a little bit so we're seeing more of the trailer. And this will lock into tab in over here, and you can see this tabs in together like that. These panels flip up. Actually, before we flip that up, we want to take the arms, bring the head down like this. The arms tab together here, and then fold in here. Bring the head up through here. First, flip that up. Peg these together. like that. Fold them in like this. Pull these panels in here. Untab these two panels here from the side. And flip them down and around like this. And they'll peg in down here. Just like that. This whole assembly here, whoops, will come down and collapse like that. The head comes down. They can face either way, and there's two little tabs here on the bottom that will tab into the arm assembly here. Just to kind of store it out of the way under the cab, or under the trailer. There we go. Oh, and the legs need to be collapsed. There's little buttons here on the legs. Forgot we extended those for trailer mode. There we go. And once that's collapsed, these will come together like this, and then these panels fold in above each other like that. Collapse right in there, and then this piece folds around and down, and because that's going to be the trailer hitch here. Make sure everything's all popped together. There's the trailer. Don't know why that wheel is stuck. There we go. At which point we can take the rifles, flip up these handles, peg them onto the top. Like that. These peg in right up here. And again, you can have them facing forward, you can angle them, you can have them stick them straight up however you want to here on the trailer. And what's cool about this is why you can leave Hi-Q plugged into the engine port on the truck. There's two peg holes here on the arms. So if you want to, you can store him here in vehicle mode. We should be a little closer together here. You can clip him together onto here on the front. And he can store right there on the trailer. There we go. So we'll set the trailer off to the side here. And we'll come to Prime himself, or Power Baser himself, the base form of Power Baser. We'll close up his hands, open up these panels here, flip them up in to the forearm. Go ahead and unpeg the arms here. We can take those, rotate them around, and this little tab is going to go up here into the slot. Come around to the back. It goes out. Fold this whole assembly down. You can actually lift this up, extend the waist here, and then this whole assembly will fold down. The grill is going to fold up into his body. Open that up, flip his head down, flip this panel up, close this back up to hide his head. Wiggle the wheels. They kind of come down, and you got to angle them to get them all the way out to the side here. There you go. There's like a little hinge. So this comes all the way out and around. Again, this side, you pull it down. Yeah, actually, I can extend the wheel here in a second too. This hinge on this side always gets a little stuck. But you got to get it. There we go. All the way out. And like I said, the wheels are collapsed up. Go ahead and pull the wheel down like that. And same on this side, pull the wheel all the way down. Like that. You can go ahead and bring these around. And this one, there's a tab on this side that tabs into this. So bring these around and tab that into place. For the legs, these pieces are going to fold up around and in. Bring the legs up. You want to take these, fold the feet down, or actually open up the foot panel here on the bottom, flip the heel in, flip that up. Again, flip the heel in, flip that up. Open up these red panels here. Again, he also has buttons right here to allow for the legs to collapse. But before you collapse them all the way, you want to get them loose so they're sliding up. Then tab them together because there's two tabs here on the tip of them that are going to go into these two slots. So make sure you don't mess that up. So roll them like that. peg them together. Like that, and then make sure these slide straight up so these peg in up here into the white bit like that. And they should peg right in there. Then you can go ahead and close these red panels up. Straighten his feet out. And you actually want to take this hinge and collapse it up into the thing so that when you fold this down, it pegs in to the back of the truck. And again. And then I should have flipped these two panels up. They're going to peg together. You can see the peg goes into here. And they're going to slot between the arms. And then once this is all pegged together, you take these panels, flip them forward, and latch them onto the little tab here in the front of the truck. And same on this side. Make sure these are pushed up all the way. There is a little slot for this tab, so make sure these tab on into the. Should tab on a bit into here. There we go. Yeah. It's always one side of these things that is giving me grief. If they don't tab all the way on, there's enough clearance that they should be okay, but they should tab all the way onto there. There we go. Oh, close enough. Yeah, close enough. And there is the cab mode. Again, put Papa's grill out. Oh, there we go. He gets so much shorter. Like his vehicle mode is very short. There we go. There's his cab mode. A little different, a little chunky. And then these two tabs right here are where the trailer is gonna, this little piece right here is gonna tab over to attach to the vehicle mode. And there you go. And you can turn, you can pivot there and still stay attached to the trailer. But there he is in full-on truck mode. Just barely fits in the frame here. He's about, actually, let me hold on one second. Let me get the tape measure and I'll show that off. Well, my tape measure has run away. So, he's over a foot long, probably about 14 inches. But, yeah, not a whole lot to the truck. There it is. And like I said, if you want, you can leave high Q back here, which I like the fact that there's a storage that is not involved the front of the cab. But if you want, you can take him out and attach him to the front of the cab. Whoop. If you so desire. So yeah, he's, like I said, dimension-wise, he's a little squat, trailer-wise, like compared to the truck especially. The truck is a little squat, but just in relation to what we were doing. But with the trailer especially, it's a low-slung trailer. Also, I may have forgotten to push. Okay, these are already down. Oh, now you clip in. The wheels do click up and down. You want to make sure those are, like, just like you pull these front wheels down, push these down. They were already down in the first place, but when we go to combine mode, you're going to have to slop those back up. So anyway, on to combine mode. So the cab itself is actually fairly simple. We want to unpeg these, push the wheels up. You can leave high Q in there. Like, he's going to pop off. I find that it's really easy to catch on him and pop him out since he doesn't click into place like the old one does. He doesn't lock. So it's easier to just pop him off for now. But push the wheels up. You want to bring the legs back down here. Rotate them around like this. And then you see this little hole right here is what's going to peg into the body. Open up these panels. Extend the legs. And the arm, you're going to bring these around. You're going to go ahead and, like I mentioned, lift the panels up and bring these panels all the way around. And again, there's a tab here that's going to tab into there, so you'll know it's in the right position. This gets a little tricky here because this, you got to get the arms in here. And there's tabs here that look like they tab into something, but they don't. So bring this up. I'm going to bring it kind of down on the hinge and around like this. and feed the arms up into here, while also getting these red covers over the smokestacks like that. And then you want this all to collapse in such a way that these red covers, you want to make sure the arms go all the way into the leg there, because these should come all the way up and again tab into the cab up here using the same slots as the other one. And this one, if it doesn't go in right now, if you can't get it to lock in place, it's okay for right now, because by the time I found that once we get around to the rest of it and bring the combiner mode head through the feet and tap into here, it helps hold all this together. It would be nice if I could get these to tab in, but I have not been able quite successfully to get everything to line up just right for this to all tab in securely until it's all done. Although that's probably as close as I've gotten. So hey, hooray for video reviews. I'll go ahead and fold these panels flat like that. The feet untab, and as you've seen in a lot of promo pictures, they just kind of come up and stick out the back here. And again, adjust that. You want to make sure that there is some space between them, because we are going to pull the head assembly through there. But there's the cab mode all ready to go. And we'll get to that. You may have to collapse. There we go. Hopefully that's all ready to go. We'll see. There we go. Anyway, set that off to the side here for now. On the trailer, go ahead again, pop the guns off. Come back here, unpeg these little panels and flip them up around here. That's going to unlock the feet parts here, which we can go ahead and extend down and start popping out here. I'll go ahead, like I said, unpeg these panels and fold them up into the foot. Unpeg this panel, kind of separate this whole thing, at which point you can start popping these panels back open. We're kind of reversing some of the stuff we went from base mode. This panel comes undone, folds in half this way this time, folds up like this, and then you can see there's a sliding panel here. Take this, slide it down the leg. Same over here. Plug it in, slide it on down the leg. You can bring the foot down, you can bring this heel piece. You can fold it down like this. It's not quite as, you can use it like this to support it, but it's actually supposed to come down and then fold up. And there's your heel right there for the foot. You can see where the foot's coming together here. So like that. Flip it around. Here, bring this panel, unpeg it again like we did for base mode. Except this time we bring it out, rotate it around. It covers the wheels like that. We take this, we can go ahead and extend the legs down. And just like on the larger robot, going back to trailer mode, as you pull these down, little buttons pop out right here and right here that you need to push before you can collapse it again. It does lock the leg in place. Now this panel, you slide this panel down a little bit so this piston kind of goes into the foot, but the instructions specifically say don't push it so this is flat. Leave it up a little bit. And then once that's done, you can take this and you can see the the groove under here. Once you have enough clearance here, take the wheel and push that whole assembly down like that. It's going to collapse up against the leg. And again, on this side, we'll do the same thing. We'll bring this up, rotate it around to cover the tires from the front, like that. Push this down a little bit, but again, not all the way down, just enough so that the piston kind of goes into the foot, and then take this whole assembly and collapse it up against the leg. And there, we have the legs pretty much done for the combined mode. And the reason you don't want that piston to go all the way in is because you want to have some freedom of movement here on the foot. The foot does come out a little bit. It's on hinges similar to the main robot mode foot. So big chunky legs there. Coming up on top, we're going to get to the big chunky top. And again, it's very similar to how we went to base mode. Bring this piece up, the trailer hitch part, flip it up and around, flip it onto the back here, and it should lock right into place. Bring the head up through here, and again, the head is on a sliding joint here. Make sure to slide it all the way up. That's going to give it the clearance you need for combined mode. Bring these panels around, take this whole assembly, bring it back like this, flip the arms straight up and over, and around like this. Tab them in here on this side, open up these panels right here. Here's the little peg hole I was talking about where the cab's going to plug into. And once you've got this flat like this, bring this up, and you can bring this down and clip all this together. Because here you can see we're starting to make the container for the cab. You may want to wait. It may be easier to wait and you may not want to lock these into place yet until you get the legs in. Now that I think about it. So you take this, there's a couple of pegs on either side of the cab that are going to go down these grooves here in the body parts. So line that up and slide this whole thing down. And again, you take that hole in the middle of the waist piece and pop it in, plug it in down here. It didn't plug in. It also helps you make sure your waist is straight. But yeah, this little hole right here is going to peg into the waist here. What is stopping this? Everything's good to go here. Oh, the wheel's getting caught. Is it? No. We're lined up. Come on. Don't make me a liar. Okay, 1 second. So, as it happens, my issue was I had not pushed the wheels up into here. I forgot to do that before we turn the cab up. The wheels should be pushed up to their robot mode configuration before you fold all this together, and that will bring this down low enough so that this will connect. So once you got that done, slide it in here. Oh, where are your grooves? There we go. Slide it down. It'll snap into place there. Locks into place. Close these little windows down. Again, you may have some issues with this popping loose, but we'll deal with that in a minute. Then you can come around here. You can bring this up around the feet like this. Actually, you want to have these lifted up because this panel is actually going to go under these right here, like this. You can't actually see that, but super big mamma jamma here. So the panel is going to go under these feet vents, and then you bring the head through here. Which can be a little tricky. You want to try not to unpeg it like that, though. Bring the head through here. Once that's done, you can fold these up, line them up, and snap them together onto the back here. There we go. Lock all this together. And then the head, like I said, try to get these panels tabbed on up here. And then you can peg the head in like that. Sometimes that will hold it together. Sometimes it takes a little doing. Get the waist panels up there. Fix the feet however you wish, so they don't look quite as ridiculous up here. Bring the arms out. And just like on the smaller robot, you open up these, flip the fists out, lock it up in place, and it's the same articulation with the solid thumb, 3 fingers, and then the 2 knuckles on the index finger here. Same over here. Again, go ahead and stick high Q onto his chest. Have him look around. You can take these and peg them onto his shoulders. And the larger rifles, just like before, flip that out. They've got the rail. He can hold those in his hands. And what's neat, too, is if you want, on top of the fact that he can, in fact, hold, just like with the smaller robot, can hold all the previous accessories, that also means he can hold the sword. So if you want to give him a sword, If you want it to be Jinrai instead of Power Master Optimus, you can give him... Oh, wait, no, the sword is the sword only going one way? Oh, maybe the sword doesn't go in. No, it's... Could have sworn that would fit, but... Well, my apologies then. I guess the sword doesn't fit. That would have been cool. Well, I mean, you can still have him hold it. Didn't use the rail, but you can still have him hold it if you want. And it looks pretty good with him. Huh, I don't remember that being a different rail, but I guess it is. So anyway, we'll just give him his usual guns here. And there he is. He's a pretty big, beefy mamma jamma. We'll give him a turn around here. You can see he's got a big backpack. Let's just see if we can't straighten his legs here. There we go. Oh, it's just the one leg. Okay. He's big. He's beefy. About the same posability as the smaller robot. He's got a ball-jointed head. Ratcheting shoulders in both directions. Bicep swivel. Can't do it with the gun in his hand, but he does also have a hinge joint here and down here at the elbow. Wrist swivel. Same finger articulation as we saw before. Does have a waist swivel, although you got to move these panels out of the way to do it. Ratcheting hips in both directions. Thigh swivel. And actually more than a 90-degree swivel there at the knee, as well as ankle tilt. So, a pretty posable dude. Now, he does come with the one extra piece. He actually comes with the bio card. He comes with 2 eye pieces. This one is the shiny metallic one. You'll notice his eyes are kind of dead right here. If you have a... Where are they? Right here. It's a CR. I ordered some of these on eBay. 927 battery. You can... There's a little switch on his back that makes his eyes light up. I don't know if that's really showing up on camera. Let's see if maybe turning off a light. Turn off all the lights. Come on. Okay, it's not showing up on camera very well, but he does in fact have... There you go. You can kind of see the glowy blue eyes. They're more impressive not on camera, but you can see off and on. And it's really easy to swap those out. I'll go ahead and get the lights, but he's going to white out again. Whoa! All right, so his head just friction holds it together, and it holds it together pretty well. You just pull it apart, and there's this little piece right here on the back is the switch. You slide this side to side, and it activates this little switch here on the thing. But you just slide the 927 battery in there with the flat side facing up, and that causes his eyes to light up. I'm not sure if that's on or off. It was on. And if you don't want the light up eyes, you can just should go ahead and put that just back up here. You just pop his faceplate off, and again, you don't have to. You can leave the whole head attached. You can just swap his faceplate out. Just clamp that right in the ball joint, and it holds pretty tightly. Just take his faceplate out, and you can pull the clear eye piece out here like this. Take the metallic piece, swap it in. It actually comes with, at least mine came with the metallic eyepiece already inserted, but since I had the batteries. And you can give him shiny metallic eyes if you'd rather have those. So yeah, he's a big, beefy dude. Let's see if we can get focus here a little bit better. And we'll do some size comparisons. So come up here, see what we can't do. Show him off with some other guys. Set that down here for right now. So, of course, we showed him off with MP10, and here they are next to each other in robot mode, just to give you an idea of how much bigger he gets. This should be locked in on white balance here. Do it like be a little brighter. Okay, there we go. Whoop, don't fall off. So MP10, Fans Hobbies G2 Laser Prime. Again, remember how those stacked up to each other. With Striker Manus, much smaller. I don't know if I need to zoom out for that one. with the old G1 Prime, or G1 Power Master Prime. I got a lot. I grabbed like all these dudes. Here he is with the current Titan's Return. That's actually the Legends Jinrai. Just to give you an idea. Here he is with Make Toys Thunder Erebus. I'm really hoping the Thunder Manus comes out soon because I really dig that. And of these two, like, I do still think Thunder Erebus is my favorite of the two. Just because, like, it's all the fun of the combiner. It's a little less of a hassle to get it all combined, and I think I just like the base shape of the smaller one. He doesn't have the giant backpack. But I gotta admit, like, I've suddenly found myself having a fairly large collection of Optimus figures, and I like this guy. He's big, he's beefy. We know they've got an Overlord coming to fight him. Yeah, like I said, he's surprisingly, like I said, it took a while to get through everything just because there's a lot involved and I'm doing it at arm's length. But he's not super difficult. He's fairly intuitive to transform. I like a lot of the posability of him. Like, High Q is great, or Jinrai, whatever you want to call him. The little Power Master dude is very articulate. He does have the base mode, which is, like I said, it's a base because we say it is kind of thing. But the fact that they made the swivel joints onto the end of the handles in that, the truck mode it's a cool truck mode. I love it, like the base robot truck mode. The trailer is a little squat for what it is, but I mean, I think you can even make the same argument for the cross dimension one as well. And like I said, he's a little puffier. He's a little more chunk than I don't even want to say than like the old school ones, than some of the more recent figures we've gotten. He does have some heft to him, but I feel like he's a pretty decent articulated update on the fun of the original Power Master Prime, who again was a little limited in his articulation and chunky, but he was a fun toy to play with, and this I think echoes that. He's really big, he's fun, and he's got a lot of posable, clicky, solid joints. Like he's no slouch in the sturdiness or articulation departments. So yeah, I'm really happy with him. Thank you very much, Fans Hobby, for the review sample. There it is, Fans Hobby's Power Baser.